on this. I think a week or so ago, I heard somewhere that the County of Orange has allocated $2.5 million to build some bridge over Bolsa. And I was very excited because I thought it's going to go towards my archways. So I called Margie Madam Mayor the night before and asked her if she knew anything about that. A lot of people have called me and asked me about that. I'm oblivious to it. My question to staff is, one, if we knew anything about it. Two, is it going to be built on city property? Three, is it going to be over city right-of-way? Four, does the city have the legal rights to weigh in on the design? And five, is this measure B1 money? And if so, has the state have allocated these funds? Because these are the questions that people are asking me, and I'm totally oblivious to it, and I haven't, so maybe I can get some clarification.
I think our city manager can give you what we know about it, because as I said to you, I didn't know anything either at that time.
But I'll take the money.
However, I did go to the public press release thing that they had, and it's a beautiful, beautiful walkway across. I don't know the answer to the rest of the questions, so I would like the city manager to answer whatever he can.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I attended the press conference with you, drove you there, and sat in the audience and listened to the presentation of the press conference. I believe you were notified, Mayor, I think the day before press conference, invited. What we were told at the meeting is, and they had pictures of a rendering of what they're planning, that they will be asking the city to allow it to be landed on the city property on both sides. We have a standard process within the city. So once we do receive a formal written request for such an application, then staff would analyze it, look at the actual facts that are received in writing versus what is said at a press conference. And this matter would have to come to the city council for consideration. They did say at the meeting that they had hoped that after the bridge is constructed by the county, that the city would take possession of the bridge. But we have not responded to that because obviously we don't have a written document yet. And it's really going to be ultimately the decision of the city council after staff reviews it to decide if that's all right with the city council or not. Public Works has got to look at the proposed landing site. They did say at the press conference that the site they showed was not definitive, that they're still considering exactly where it would go. Our staff would have to look at a written application when it came in from the county and decide if that makes sense from a site safety point of view, if the council wants it. So we heard a lot of things at the press conference. We don't have anything in writing yet. It really is a formal application for Marwan to review it and come to the council to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Wow. And do we B1 money that is going to be allocated from the state?
We did receive, I did have staff get a copy of the agenda item from the Board of Supervisors after the press conference. And is it 1B Marwan? Is that what it's called? It's 1B money. And Marwan, just come to the podium for a second. I'm having Marwan do the due diligence on it.
It was 5-0, they said, by the supervisors. That's all I know.
Marwan, to your knowledge, is 1B an eligible source of funds based upon where the money comes from to build a pedestrian overpass with it?
Yeah. Madam Mayor, members of the council, from what I saw of the description of 1B, the main intent of it is traffic congestion relief. And this bridge would definitely be justified. The fact that you're going to eliminate the pedestrian crossing at the Asian Village, Asian Garden Mall there, you will definitely improve the traffic situation. So I would think it would qualify under the 1B.
Oh.
Sure, but it is 1B, and when I checked with state finance, I don't think they even had an application yet, so I'm sure that will be coming from the county. So thank you for answering my question. Ultimately, I would like this council to weigh in on the design because 10 years ago, a similar bridge was proposed by the developer, and it created a big controversy, and we certainly would not want to repeat that. Additionally, although, thank you, Marwan, any bridge, any pedestrian bridge at any congested area is needed to alleviate traffic. This council did approve certain priorities, if you will, and I was wondering if we can also forward that list of priorities to the county and the state so that if they do have earmarked funds, then they would consider that our priorities next time in appropriating so.
Absolutely.
I know at the press conference when I was asked to speak, I did them of the bridge in the past that was a failure because of them wanting to put kiosks and things across there for shopping, and the design and just everything else. The community was up in arms over it, and it fell through. So I did make that a comment of what I'm.
So as long as this council gets to weigh in on the design and the placement of it, that's good.
Councilman Marsh.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This raises several concerns for me. The county is saying, we'll take and allocate this money out of the initiative funds, and we're going to allocate them for this project. I think it would have been nice if they had consulted us first as to what our priorities were. I'm troubled that they did not. I'll keep an open mind. I'm not opposed to the developer putting up a bridge, but I certainly wouldn't want, if there's $2.5 million that could be allocated to the city, I would want us to determine how to prioritize where to go, rather than someone else imposing a project that might not be our first choice, or even be one of our first 10 choices, for all I know. I'm also troubled by their saying, well, we want to allocate this money, but we want you to accept the dedication of it as a city, so you have liability for it. This is a pedestrian bridge they're talking about.
People could jump over.
If they want it so badly, let them own it, let them have responsibility for it. I'm not yet convinced that we should. And thirdly, we have two issues that we get to weigh in on. Not just whether we want to approve the project going on public property, but the dedication itself to the city. Those are two separate issues we could vote on.
Right.
We could reject both or just reject one of the two, or we could go along with both. But it seems as if there's been a press conference for something where we've been provided with almost no information on this. And I'm troubled by that. The county, I think, should do a better job of including us as a council in knowing what they're planning to do or what they're thinking of doing before they go and do press conferences about us. OCTA tried doing that with doing their own press conferences and meetings, and found that when they differed from what the Westminster Council and the Westminster people wanted, it didn't go over very well. This could happen again. So I'm hoping the county will take this message to heart and maybe include us in the decision-making process rather than hope to come to us and say, well, gee, now politically it would be uncomfortable for you to say no to this. Because this is a council that's not afraid to say no.
That's true.
I appreciate the 2.5 million.
Councilman Ta.
I hope in the future that everyone on our council will be informed about that issue so we can have all knowledge and information about that, rather than we have no idea what's going on out there. So I hope that in the future that anyone do anything in our city, at least that they inform all of us.
Yeah. Our city manager.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, just based upon the comments from council members, I think what I'm going to direct Marwan to do is when we receive the application formally from the county, we'll bring it directly to council before we spend staff time on it.
Right.
To deal with the overall issues that the council brought up tonight is, do we want the bridge? Because there's no use spending staff time on it if you don't want the bridge.
True.
And so there's some preliminary things. We can also show you the renderings, whatever we receive. You'll have a chance to look at all that at the beginning of the process